Alkebulan channel. The channel about the black man and the black woman. Yes, the channel about the African continent. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the great General Hannibal. Yes, Hannibal of Carthage. Did you know Hannibal is the ruler that made Alkebulan to be named Africa? Yes, Africa. Hannibal was the son of the great Carthaginian general Hamilcar Barca. The Greek historian Polybius and the Roman historian Livy are the two primary sources for his life. According to them, Hannibal was taken to Spain by his father at an early age and was made to swear eternal hostility to Rome. From the death of his father in the year 229 BC until his own death about 183 BC, Hannibal's life was one of near constant struggle against the Roman Empire. Yes, the Roman Empire. Hannibal's earliest commands were given to him by the Carthaginian province of Spain, by Hasdrubal, a son-in-law and successor of Hamilcar, who was Hannibal's father. It is clear that Hannibal emerged as a successful officer, for on the assassination of Hasdrubal in 221 BC, the army proclaimed him at an early age of 26 years its commander-in-chief, and the Carthaginian government quickly ratified his field appointment. Hannibal immediately turned himself to the consolidation of the Punic hold on Spain. He married a Spanish princess, Emilce, and then conquered various Spanish tribes. He fought against the Alcaldes and captured their capital, Aldea. In 221 BC, he made Carthage his base. He won a resounding victory over the Carthaginians in the region of the Tagus River. In 219 BC, Hannibal attacked Saguntum, an independent liberal city south of Ebro River. In the treaty between Rome and Carthage subsequent to the First Punic War, between the years 264 to 241 BC, the Ebro had been set as the northern limit of the Carthaginian influence in the Iberian Peninsula. Saguntum was indeed south of the Ebro, but the Romans had friendship with the city and regarded the Carthaginians' attack on it as an act of war. The siege of Saguntum lasted 8 months, and in it, Hannibal was wounded. The Romans, who had sent envoys to Carthage in protest after its fall, demanded the surrender of Hannibal. This began the Second Punic War, declared by Rome and conducted on the Carthaginian side almost entirely by Hannibal. Hannibal spent the winters of 219 and 218 BC at Cartagena in active preparation for carrying the war into Italy, leaving his brother Hasdrubal in command of a considerable army for the defense of Spain and North Africa. He crossed the Ebro in April 218 BC and marched into the Pyrenees. Rome declared war shortly before it heard of his arrival at the Pyrenees. A decision spurred by the Saguntum and Hannibal's crossing of Ebro. Hannibal may have started from Cartagena with an army of around 90,000, including an estimate of 12,000 cavalries, but he left at least 20,000 soldiers in Spain to protect his supply line. In the Pyrenees, his army, which included at least 37 elephants, met with stiff resistance from perennial tribes. This opposition and the likely desertion of some of the Spanish troops diminished his numbers as he reached the Rhone River. But he met little resistance from the tribes of southern Gaul. Meanwhile, the Roman general Publius Cornelius Scipio transported his army, which had been detained in northern Italy by a rebellion, by sea to the area of Massalia, a city that was allied to Rome. Thus, Hannibal's access to the coastal route into Italy was blocked not only by the Massalians, but by at least one army, with another gathering in Italy. As Scipio moved northward along the river banks of the Rhone, he learned that Hannibal had already crossed the river and was marching northward on the left bank. Realizing that Hannibal probably planned to cross the Alps. Yes, the Alps. Scipio returned to northern Italy to await him. Controversy has surrounded the details of Hannibal's movement after the crossing of the Rhone. Publius states that he crossed it while the river was still in one stream, at a distance of 4 days. Marching from the sea, Fogg's opposite, Publius says that he crossed it while the river was still in one stream, at a distance of 4 days marching from the sea. Fogg's opposite, Als, is thought by some to have been the likely crossing place. Many have considered as possibility the natural historic founding place between modern Beaucas and Avignon. Hannibal used caragals and boats locally commandeered for the elephant. He made jetties out into the river and floated the elephants from those on earth-covered rafts. Horses were embarked on large boats or made to swim. During the operation, hostile Gauls appeared on the eastern bank, and Hannibal dispatched a force under Hanno to cross further upstream and attack them from behind. As the Gauls attempted to block Hannibal crossing, Hanno's force struck, scattering the Gauls and allowing the main body of the Carthaginian army to transit the Rhones unopposed. Hannibal then received friendly Gallic leaders headed by the northern Italian Boii, a Celtic tribe, whose land had been reduced by recent Roman settlement and whose superior knowledge of the Alps passes must have been of the greatest value to Hannibal's plan. Indeed, Polybius makes it clear that Hannibal did not march towards the Alps blindly, but instead had excellent information about the best route. After crossing the Rhone, Hannibal's army seemed to have marched north for about 80 miles and passed into an area called the island, the identification of which is the key of Hannibal's subsequent movement on land. According to Polybius, it was a fertile, densely populated triangle bounded by hills. Hannibal of Carthage, the man who made Alkebulan to be named Africa. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the channel. Yes, don't forget to leave a comment after watching this episode of Hannibal of Carthage.